Welcome back everybody to the Vinyl Vault. Just me today because this is an exclusive Tim tour. This will be my entire vinyl collection up to this point. Full disclaimer, I don't have the greatest selection. I'm very new to it. Like I said, I've only been doing this for about a year and a half. So this is just what I've accumulated during that time. I can't wait to grow it even more and really see what else I can find. But in the meantime, I thought I would give everyone just a little bit of a taste of what I've collected so far. So yeah, I say let's get right into it. My beautiful collection. Pretty small, nothing too crazy, but I'm still growing. Like I said, me and Gina Lee's have only been collecting for, I'd say, about a year and a half, maybe 2 years tops. This is what I have accumulated in that year and a half span. She has her own separate collection coming. But yeah, so basically, I'm gonna start with some of the big ones that I have. First off, I have this. Can't get it out. The George Harrison All Things Must Pass 50th Anniversary box set. I have that at the beginning of my collection, just because it's huge and it's like the only box set I really have. So we have the Allman Brothers. We have B.B. King, Bob Dylan's greatest hits. We got Bad Company, and then I just have pretty much a ton of the Beatles. So we got Rubber Soul here, which is my mom's old pressing. We got the White Album, Let It Be, Help, Please Please Me, Sgt. Pepper's, Abbey Road, Hard Day's Night, Revolver, Beatles for Sale backwards. With the Beatles, we got the Rarities, the Beatles Rarities. This came in my mom's 1972 box set, I want to say. Pretty cool album. And then we got Yellow Submarine. And then, we're out of the Beatles. We're on to the next. I'm also a huge Black Sabbath fan. It was one of the first bands I was really put onto, so my collection by them is decent. You know, it's fairly large for my collection. We have a Black Sabbath live album. We have Sabbath Volume 4, Black Sabbath Volume 4, which is potentially my favorite Sabbath album. It was one that's very nostalgic for me, so it might be one of my favorites. We have their debut, Black Sabbath, by Black Sabbath, Sabotage. This is one of the first records I actually purchased ever. This record I bought off some guy that was just selling his collection, and I really loved Sabotage. I saw it and bought off him for a really good price. It's in really good shape, so yeah. Sabotage. Paranoid, Master of Reality, and then that was pretty much it for Sabbath. I tried to keep these in alphabetical order, but man, it's tough when I take them out and play them, put them back in the right spot. I'm lazy, whatever. So now we got Greatest Hits by CCR, Cosmos Factory, Crosby, Stills, and Nash. Oh, we have The Doors. Alive She Cried, which I found this for cheap, kind of beat up, but that'd be a cool collector's piece because I'm a huge Doors fan. So I think this is like some compilation. Yeah, nothing crazy, something cool. I actually have them out of order because next I have The Money Store by Death Grips, which is certainly not The Doors. Then I got, oh, God, move this way, a little easier. Then this was the Vinyl Me exclusive, the Vinyl Me Please just released for The Doors. I have a video on that. I'll probably throw it up. Super cool pressing of one of my favorite albums ever. LA Woman by The Doors, The Soft Parade, and then very cool story behind this. This Waiting for the Sun is my mom's old pressing from, I want to say, probably the 80s. And one thing, I mean, a little beat up, right? But one thing I like that's really cool about it, which with the repressings, or the remasters, repressings, whatever you want to call them, that are sold now, are just a single pocket with the disc in it, right? This one has a cool little book from the 80s, and it has Celebration of the Lizard, it has some poetry by Jim Morrison on it. So I know my girlfriend picked this album up a couple months ago, and she noticed that it didn't have this little cool little booklet with Celebration of the Lizard and all that on it. So I thought it was cool. Maybe you want to keep this one instead of rebuying the album. Yeah, thought that was pretty cool. Then we have The Doors Live at the Bowl, pretty cool. We got the greatest hits by them. It's on a cool white disc, which you guys have probably seen on the channel. I always thought that was really cool. Morrison Hotel, one of my all-time favorite albums. 13, their first compilation album. We have Strange Days, which is one of my favorite as well. And then, let's see, we got Rumors by Fleetwood Mac, of course, who doesn't have that one. I have Somewhere in England by George Harrison right here. Don't ask why it's not with the solo George Harrison I have over there. Don't ask why. We have Green Day Dookie. This was that cool release I have. This is one of 2,000 with this brown colored disc. I'll probably throw a picture up. Yeah, it has a brown colored disc, and it was only one of 2,000 made. So kind of a cool copy there of Green Day's Dookie. Imagine John Lennon. We have some Jimi Hendrix. We have Midnight Lightning. What else we got for Jimi Hendrix in here? Oh, Jimi Hendrix's Isle of Wight. Pretty cool. Jimi Hendrix at his best. John and Yoko, Double Fantasy, right there. But probably really the only John and Yoko album I really listened to be honest. We have Janis Joplin's Greatest Hits. That was my mom's. Stole It. What else we got? We have more Hendrix. Now we move into one of my favorite albums of all time, In the Court of the Crimson King by King Crimson. I love that album. What else we got in here? Oh, we got Closer by Joy Division. This is on a cool red disc. I love that. And what else? We have another Joy Division. We have Unknown Pleasures. Love that one. That one's on a clear disc. It's a little hip hop. Here we have Man on the Moon by Kid Cudi, one of my favorite and most nostalgic hip hop albums ever. I absolutely love this album. And then we have his collaborative with Kanye West in Kids See Ghosts, which is one of the best hip hop albums I've heard in my entire life. It's short, sweet, but it is Cudi and Kanye firing at all cylinders. I mean, it's absolutely sensational. And then we have Kanye on his own in what I think is his masterclass in Yeezus. I think this is an amazing experimental hip hop album, and I think he really stretched the barriers of sound with this one. And then to finish off the first little cube shelving here, we have Zeppelin 1. Not a huge Zeppelin fan. I do own this debut by Led Zeppelin. But yeah, like I said, not the biggest Zeppelin fan over here, unfortunately. Maybe that'll change over time. But now we're moving to the second shelf. The variety of my collection isn't huge. Like I said, I'm just starting out, very new. And I feel like when you're new at collecting records, you stay within the confines of bands. Like I have someone who, let's say the Beatles, for example, I wanted to finish my Beatles collection before I moved on to another band. Or then I moved to like Black Sabbath and Doors, stuff like that. I hunted records by bands to finish their collections. That's why you see a lot of a lot by each band. So say there was like 4 bands that dominated this first section. That's because I always try to complete collections by bands. And you'll see that in the second half too. It's a lot, 3 or 4 bands dominating the shelf because, like I said, I'm a collection guy. I like to finish collections, or try to, like getting all the albums by each band. So here we're going to start with Skynyrd, Golden Platinum. This was my mother's. She gave this to me. And then we have Street Survivors, which was obviously their last record before they all, or most of them, perished in a plane crash. But Leonard Skynyrd, absolutely amazing. Southern Rock Kings. We have In the Airplane Over the Sea by Nutrimilk Hotel. I absolutely love Nutrimilk Hotel, Jeff Mangum. They're one of the best indie rock albums of the 90s and best indie albums, period. I think this is one of the greatest albums ever made for that genre. Now we move into a pretty large chunk of my collection, which is the Nirvana Collection. I have Nevermind right here. Smack my hand over that amidst controversy. We're going to put that away now. We're not going to talk about that album. Now we got Bleach, which is their debut, which is so fantastic. In my opinion, it's so underrated. I love it so much. And then actually right now we're coming on to the first record I have ever received. And it got me into collecting. It's my first record ever. And this was a gift from Gina Lees, who It's not in the video, this video, my collection. But she bought me this for, I think, my birthday, when we first started dating. And it is Nirvana's legendary live album, Unplugged. She got me this, and ever since then I was like, I want more. And yeah, the start of it all right here. Thank you, Gina Lee's. And then we my most recent Nirvana pickup, and that is Incesticide, which is sort of their mixtape, not really a high-profile album. Absolutely love it. And then we have my favorite Nirvana album up next, in Utero, with its masterpiece front to back. And it's just an absolutely beautiful album. Well written, everything about it is absolutely beautiful, front to back. And then we sort of have the Live and Loud, which was MTV, I believe in 1993, Nirvana did MTV's Live and Loud, where they played In Utero, some songs like Nevermind, you know, some of the bigger stuff. But fun story behind this one, Gina Lee's, we were in a record store, and on the front of this, it said, comes with an exclusive backstage pass, like a replica backstage pass for if you went to the show and had a backstage pass. So I was like, oh, that'd be such a cool collector's piece. So I'm like, oh, I want to get this, but you know, this was a pretty penny at the time and I didn't get it. She surprised me with it for our anniversary last year. And when I opened it, by maybe mishap, it did not include the backstage pass. So she was more upset than I was. I was just glad to have the record. She wanted me to have the backstage pass as like a collector's piece. Gina Lee's, it's okay. I love this record. Thank you so much for it. Don't be salty. Don't be upset. Alright? It's okay. Next, and actually I believe this is, no, we got a couple more. We have the compilation album that came out, I believe, in the early 2000s, where they released You Know You're Right, the last ever Nirvana song on this, along with pretty much all the greatest hits. Great album. We have just a live Nirvana album. I thought this was cool. It's pretty cheap, just a live. It seemed almost like a bootleg. It was pretty cheap. Had a really cool blue disc to it, so suckered me in. And now that was it for Nirvana. Like I said, they made up a large chunk. Not the largest chunk, but a pretty decent amount. I also have, I want to really finish my 9 Inch Nails collection because I literally only got one. I haven't bought a record in a long time, to be honest. So I definitely want to get back into collecting. I haven't bought a record in probably over a month. I just started collecting, or starting my 9 Inch Nails collection, so all I got in the meantime was a Pretty Hate Machine 1989 album, which I absolutely love, by 9 Inch Nails. Then we got, this one's for Gina Lee's. This is her favorite artist right here, Phoebe Bridgers. Her second album, I believe, Punisher, which this is received critical acclaim. I believe it came out in 2020, amidst all of COVID. This album came out, received critical acclaim, and yeah, I really love this sort of indie alternative album that she put on. She's keeping albums alive in this day and age, so I really respect this album, which I had to get a copy of it. Now we sort of have a little Pink Floyd chunk. So we have, this is one of my mom's older copies of The Wall. I absolutely love this album. Really changed the way I heard music when it first came out. I absolutely love it. This was a gift from Gina Lee's, which is one of my favorite Pink Floyd albums ever, is Metal. I think this was the segue into the big and famous albums we see today, like Dark Side of the Moon, Wish You Were Here, Animals, stuff like that. So next we have Animals. This is in contention for one of my personal favorites and all-time favorite Pink Floyd albums. I think it's one of the best composed pieces front to back that they had put out. And then the copy I believe everyone owns is Dark Side of the Moon. Nothing fancy about this pressing, pretty generic remaster. Bought a long time ago, but it is a pretty generic remaster. You find it anywhere. And then we have, this was cool, Wish You Were Here. Pretty old copy. I found this actually at an antique store, which is kind of cool. Me and Gina Lee's weren't even looking for records. We were just looking in an antique store for anything and everything. And I saw they had a vinyl record section, and I picked up this bad boy. I found it, and this is an album I've been searching for. But the remasters don't come with this cover anymore, and I think this cover is so iconic, I didn't want to settle for that remastered. With the gear hands, shaking hands, I'll throw it up on the screen. I wanted this one. So when I found this one, the condition was decent, it plays very well, and I think I got it for like 15 bucks. So It's a steal in my opinion. And that so far has finished up my Pink Floyd collection. Next we have another large chunk of my collection, maybe the largest chunk of my collection, and that is the Radiohead section. And let me move this over. So starting out, we have biggest fan following albums in the Bends. It was their second studio album that got critical acclaim. Huge songs like High and Dry and Fake Plastic Trees. The second one, now this is maybe, and this is in my opinion Radiohead's best album, and that is Kid A. This had come from them being exhausted playing, pretty much alternative rock that they were getting bored of. They had reached peak success, and they kind of wanted to scrap all that and go a different route. Tom York, the frontman of Radiohead, said, "I want to make an electronic album. This thing just sounds electronic, dystopian, dark, but beautiful at the same time." My favorite Radiohead album. Next one, like I said, these aren't in order, sadly, is their most recent 2016 album, A Moon-Shaped Pool. Now, if anything is a modern-day classic, this is a modern-day classic. I think this album is absolutely beautiful. It's more somber. It's not as heavy. It's heavy emotionally, I'll tell you that. But it's very somber, very heavy, and every song, you cannot skip a single song in it. I love it so much. And waiting on the next Radiohead album. So Radiohead, get to it. Yeah, Moon-Shaped Pool by Radiohead. I also have some Tom York solo stuff sprinkled in there. My brother had gotten me Tom York's first solo studio album, and that is The Eraser. I think this was a very good progression for Tom York, and just for him, his songwriting, his experiments with sound. I think he needed these solo albums to better himself, and that's why I'm glad they exist, and I do enjoy them a lot. Next is probably everyone's favorite Radiohead album, In Rainbows. I love this album so much. I think it's the easiest on the ears. I think it's just a beautiful album all around. You can't go wrong. You can throw it on anywhere, anytime, any place. Next one is the mixed reviewed Hail to the Thief. I love Hail to the Thief. I think it has a lot of songs. I think it has a lot of blow. I think it's a little long, and I've cut out some songs from it. But if you're talking singular songs, it has some of their best work on it. So I love that, Hail to the Thief. And then we have more solo Tom York and Enema. This has cool orange discs to it. But yeah, Enema, Tom York. This is his most recent, I believe 2019, I want to say, solo album by Tom York. So yeah, Enema, very cool. Next we got probably one of my most expensive LPs. We have OK Computer, but this is the OK Not OK 20th Anniversary Edition that came with a ton of B-sides and unreleased songs, like Man of War and I Promise, being some of the big ones to name a few. This is a 3 LP, barely fits in a record sleeve, but I got it in there somehow. But yeah, this is considered to be their masterpiece. This is, I believe, a lot of people think is their best record. Absolutely amazing. Next we have sort of the last two Radiohead albums that sort of fall through the cracks. We have Amnesiac, which is pretty much Kid A B-sides. Sessions were recorded in the same sessions as Kid A, but Amnesiac is just as strong in my opinion. Alright, and then finally to wrap up my Radiohead, I have the King of Limbs, which is pretty much the most underwhelming record that no one likes, but I really do like. And that finishes up the Radiohead section. I got the Rage Against the Machine debut, self-titled. We have Rolling Stone's Greatest Hits. What else we got? Oh, we got Made in the Shade. Bridge Over Troubled Water by Simon and Garfunkel. Absolute classic. We have one of the rock gods, Ted Nugent, Intensities in 10 Cities, which is a live album, I believe, which was filmed over the entirety of an entire tour, taking each song or one song from each show, throwing them together into a compilation record. Very cool. We have the Greatest Hits by the best band of all time, the Turtles. What else we got? We have the Pulp Fiction soundtrack, one of my favorite movies ever. We have Steppenwolf Live, pretty big album by them. We have the debut, self-titled by the Stooges, which is one of my favorite records ever. Iggy Pop and the Boys. We have Face Dances by The Who, which is one of my least favorite Who albums, to be honest. We have Who's Next, one of my favorite albums by The Who, which has some of their biggest hits. And we got Icon, got this from Walmart. Pretty much a greatest hits album. It had a pretty cool colored disc, that's cool. I got this used copy of Quadrophenia. It comes with the original book and everything. Seems like a vintage pressing, or at least an older pressing. This is one of my all-time favorite Who albums, and pretty cool to have it with the original booklet still intact. So yeah, there's that. And then now we got the Velvet Underground and Nico album. Of course, we all know You Can Peel the Banana, but this is one of my favorite experimental psych rock albums of all time. Had to have it. Next we got Songs for the Deaf by Queens of the Stone Age. Probably my favorite Queens of the Stone Age album. Really long, so if you want a long experience, go listen to this album. Amazing rock album, early 2000s. And then we have the 1980s punk gods, the Wipers. Is This Real? One of my all-time favorite punk albums ever. And then we have two legendary picks that I got from the vinyl unboxing that we did. The Best of Bread and Carly Simon, No Secrets. So yeah, as of this moment, that's my vinyl collection. I definitely want to do another one maybe a year from now, maybe 6 months from now when this is going exponentially. We already pretty much have to move down into the book section that I have. But that doesn't seem like a bad thing to me. It doesn't seem like an issue to me. I'm excited for that. So yeah, I hope everyone enjoyed the little tour I had of my records so far. I thought I'd keep everyone up to date on how it was going. But yeah, if you enjoyed a video like this, I definitely would like to do another one down the line. So yeah, let me know what you think of my amateur collection. And yeah, as always, thanks for supporting the channel, and I'll see you later.